Welcome everyone. Today, we're diving into the world of Haikyuu Touch the Dream, the awesome volleyball game that's been taking the global scene by storm. If you're here, you probably already know that there are 4 schools and 8 main characters you can play with. But here's the twist, each character has multiple forms, and these forms focus on different volleyball skills. So, while one form might specialize in spiking, another might boost your defense or even enhance your serve. It's all about finding the right combination to dominate the court. Sounds fun, right? Now, of course, with all these forms and characters, we need a tier list to make sense of it all. Some characters are clearly better than others, depending on their strengths and how you use them in the game. Each player has their own unique set of abilities, but not all are created equal. So, we're going to break down each character's strengths, weaknesses, and which ones you should be aiming for if you want to create the ultimate team. Stick around and let's talk about the best and not so best characters in Haikyuu Touch the Dream. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking characters in Haikyuu Touch the Dream. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Hajime Iwaizumi, Kozume Kenma, and Kenji Futakuchi. Alright, let's dive into some of the B-tier characters in Haikyuu Touch the Dream. These players might not be the superstars you'd always pick first, but they're solid and can definitely hold their own in a good team composition. Let's talk about Hajime Iwaizumi, the wing spiker from Aoba Josai. Now, Iwaizumi might not have the best blocking skill, but what he lacks in defense coverage, he makes up for with his impressive dance buff rate and of course those big spikes. If you're planning on using him in the front row, Airsoft form will give you that extra blocking boost, though you'll lose a bit of his serve performance. Honestly, for a balanced team, pairing him up with Oikawa is a no-brainer. They complement each other so well. Next up, we have Kozume Kenma from Nakoma, a setter who's all about supporting his team. He's not the powerhouse when it comes to attack power, but what Kenma brings to the table is his incredible stamina and stat buffing. His spy form is a sneaky one, letting him serve in a way that throws off low receivers, which is pretty unique. He's also got a great tossing ability, getting the ball exactly where it needs to be in the front row. But here's the thing, his attack power is on the lower end, so he really thrives when he's teamed up with Karu. They're like the perfect duo. One covers Kenma's weaknesses while enhancing his strengths. Moving on, let's talk about Kenji Futakuchi from Date Kogyo, another wing spiker who brings a lot of versatility to the game. Kenji's one of those characters who doesn't really have a standout skill, but is pretty decent across the board. Whether you need him to block or attack, he's got the abilities to fill in. His armor form is particularly useful, acting as a debuffer by lowering the opponent's defense and stamina, which can make a big difference in longer matches. He might not be flashy, but he's a reliable all-rounder who can fill in those gaps in your team when you need someone to cover a variety of roles. I know what you're thinking. Do these characters have enough firepower? And while they might not be the showstoppers like the S-tier characters, they're perfect for supporting players who really shine in specific roles. Iwaizumi, for example, might not be the best at blocking, but his high spikes and defense buffs make him a great asset in the front row setup. When you pair him with the right teammates, he can become a powerhouse in his own way. Kenma's definitely a more passive character. He's not about being at the front lines or dominating the court, but rather controlling the flow of the game from behind the scenes. His support abilities are unmatched, and while his attack stats may not blow you away, his tossing and stamina buffing can make a world of difference. So, if you're a player who loves having a strong support character, Kenma is your guy. And then there's Kenji, the guy who does a bit of everything but never really excels at one thing. Sometimes, that's exactly what you need in a team though. He's a great filler when you're trying to balance out your squad with a well-rounded character who can step up to the plate when you need him. His debuffing ability can really throw off the enemy, giving your team the upper hand, and his overall defense and attack skills make him a solid option if you don't have any top tier specialists in your roster. So yeah, these B tier characters may not be the first picks for your squad, but they definitely have their place. Whether it's Iwaizumi with his spikes, Kenma with his sneaky serves and buffs, or Futakuchi with his all-around solid gameplay, each of them adds something valuable to the table. It's all about finding the right combination that works for your playstyle. And honestly, if you play your cards right, these guys can totally surprise you. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Kuru Tetsuro, Tobio Kageyama, and Shoyo Hinata. Alright, let's dive straight into some of the Haikyuu Touch the Dream characters that make a huge difference on the court. Today, we're talking about A-tier players, and trust me, these guys can seriously turn the tide in your favor. So, grab your volleyball and let's get into it. First up, we've got Kuru Tetsuro from Nakoma. Now, Kuru's blocking is honestly next level. It's what he's known for, but here's the kicker. Even though his blocking skills are his strongest feature, you can actually use him in practically any position on the court. It's like he's got versatility on steroids, and if you're looking to add some solid support to your team, his camping form is perfect for that. Sure, he loses his unique blocking abilities, but his debuff skills are still awesome, which makes him a fantastic pick for Dream Matches mode. If you're playing defensively or need that extra push for the team, Kuru's your guy. Next, let's talk about Tobio Kageyama from Karasuno. If you're familiar with the Japanese version of Haikyuu Touch the Dream, you know Kageyama is an absolute monster. Unfortunately, the global version gave him a little nerf in the receiving department, but don't let that fool you. He's still a beast when it comes to tossing. His sets are spot on, and if you pair him up with a player like Hinata, your team's going to have one of the best combos in the game. Honestly, you just can't go wrong with Kageyama as your setter. You'll notice though that Karasuno might not perform as well without him, so make sure you get that perfect formation going. Speaking of Hinata, let's move on to Shoyo Hinata, also from Karasuno and another key player in the A tier. Now, if you're familiar with the Kageyama Hinata dynamic, you know they're pretty much unstoppable when paired together. Hinata is solid both in defense and offense, and his unique block skill can make a big difference. The best part? When you play him alongside Kageyama, he can do some insane back attacks that hit right where it hurts. They're especially lethal against low receivers, so when you have the two of them working in sync, the points just pile up. However, if you try to run Hinata solo, you'll quickly notice a drop in his attack power. So, teamwork is key with this one. But hey, we're not saying that Kuru or Hinata are perfect on their own, right? They're A tier for a reason, and that's because they work best in certain combinations. Kageyama's tosses paired with Hinata's attacks are like peanut butter and jelly. They just work. If you have these guys in your lineup, you're setting yourself up for some epic rallies and most likely a whole lot of points. So, to wrap it up, Kuru, Kageyama, and Hinata are all solid A-tier characters that can take your game to the next level. Whether you need Kuru's versatile blocking and debuff skills or Kageyama's precise sets to fuel those back attacks from Hinata, these characters are a huge asset to any team. Just make sure you've got the right formation and you'll be dominating the court in no time. And that's all for today. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of why these players are such powerhouses in Haikyuu Touch the Dream. Who's your favorite A-tier character? Let me know in the comments. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Toru Oikawa and Aonu Takanobu. Alright, let's talk about some of the absolute beasts in Haikyuu Touch the Dream. These characters don't just sit pretty in S tier, they absolutely dominate when they hit the court. Trust me, you'll want to hear about these two legends, Toru Oikawa and Aonu Takanobu. They're the type of players that can turn the tide of a match in a heartbeat, so let's dive right in. First up, we've got Toru Oikawa from Aoba Josai. Now, you've probably seen him in a few different versions, and let me tell you, almost every single one of them is a powerhouse. He's the kind of setter that makes the game look effortless. His stats, off the charts, his blocks, super easy to use, and they come in clutch when you need them the most. But here's where it gets really juicy, his vacation form. Not only does he have strong blocking, but he also has the ability to heal your team's buffers, like Hinata, which is huge for keeping your squad in top shape throughout the match. And if you get your hands on Xmas Oikawa, you're in for a treat. This version of Oikawa doesn't need anyone else to help him buff his stats. He does it all on his own. It's like he's got his own little cheer squad built into his kit. But honestly, if you're looking to build the best Aoba Josai team formation, the uniform Oikawa is probably your MVP. His support skills are the real game changer here, boosting your teammates' attack success rate and ensuring that those spikes actually land. You want success? He's got your back. Then we've got Aonu Takanobu from Date Kogyo, and let me tell you, this guy's a monster in the blocking department. Seriously, this is the strongest blocker in the game, hands down. His blocking rate is absolutely insane. If you've been struggling to keep your opponents from spiking all over the place, Takanobu is your guy. He's so good, it almost feels like he's everywhere at once, shutting down every attack that comes his way. And if you're thinking of pairing him with Hinata, you're in for some sweet synergy. It's a rare combo, cross-school teamwork at its finest, but Takanobu isn't just about defense. He can also hold his own in the front row with a wide variety of attack skills. So not only can he block shots like a pro, but he can also dish out some serious offense. This is the kind of player you want when the match is tight and you need someone who can do it all. Whether it's blocking or attacking, he's got the versatility to make an impact anywhere on the court. And don't even get me started on Takanobu's defensive abilities. Honestly, when it comes to blocking, he outshines even Tetsuro and Hinata, who are both solid blockers in their own right. Takanobu though, he's on a whole other level, so if you're looking to add a super reliable player to your team, he's definitely the one to go for. With these two in your lineup, you're basically unstoppable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.